one second here. I'm gonna go. Hold on one second. The X-Man's on here, going to live, but I'm trying to do something here. Just trying to do this a little bit crazier than I usually do. Alright, let's see what that does. We'll start with these guys. Alright, so the X-Man's coming to you live. 1 minute into it, and I pretty much haven't even done anything yet. Oh man, eating that cheesesteak, I'm like, whew. But yeah, I'm gonna be on here. We're gonna do NFL breakdown, just like I've been saying, and you know, and my personal comments on here, and we'll see where we're at. Obviously, the earliest, I don't know, those fake accounts trying to get a hold of me. Oh God, hold on. Doing this in the. All right, all right, I'm back. Have to get rid of all the fake accounts that just keep trying to come in here. All right, so it's 7:30 at night, and you know, I'm on live chat on YouTube, and I said I had NFL breakdowns here, so we're gonna have some NFL breakdowns real quick, and you know, look at the day. A lot of it's pretty predictable. I'll probably start with the Seahawks and the Falcons here. Um, the Seattle Seahawks at 4-3, exploding on the Panthers, 34-14. Now, see, that's like kind of crazy for me. You know, Kenneth Walker didn't even have 100 yards rushing. DK Metcalf had a good game. It just looks like, and I say it all the time, like Kirk Cousins. How you doing? Kirk Cousins is a quarterback, is very questionable at times. Um, you know, days like today, you think about it, he 232, but then he has a touchdown and a pick. That just doesn't seem to make too much sense to me as far as like being a quarterback. You know, you're supposed to be getting what, 50 million, and that's the kind of numbers that you pull up. And you know, Geno Smith, he didn't really do great today. 18 for 28, 207, and 2 TDs. I guess that, you know, DK Metcalf got a touchdown, 4 catches, 99 yards. So I guess Seattle came out and made a statement. You can't tell what the Seattle Seahawks are doing now. You know, even at 4-3, they're, you know, are they what they are or what they are? You know, um, just middle of the pack teams, both the Falcons and the Seahawks. Definitely a lot going on there. It just doesn't seem really crazy. Like, I don't think I wouldn't take the Seattle Seahawks really serious right now because I don't think they're really going to go far. Roblox Kendrick, hi. That's going to be my last cheesesteak for a while. Hantron. So yeah, the Atlanta Falcons pretty much are fraudulent. They're not as good as people thought they were. The Chiefs and the 49ers are 28-18 Chiefs right now. Yeah, I don't know why anybody would say something so stupid. Yeah, you're going. See, there's no reason for dumb comments like that. Anyway, so the Washington Commanders really poured it on the Carolina Panthers today. Obviously, the Panthers are the worst team in football, although the Giants can kind of challenge them for that, for their play today. As I said earlier in one of my shorts, I think that Brian DeBolt needs to get fired. I think he's lost the team, you know, but we'll talk about them in a minute. But the Commanders are being 5-2 here, with an impressive 40-7 win. They might be the best. The Patriots Well, they came out early, but the Jacksonville Jaguars proved victorious, even though um, Trevor Lawrence really didn't play a great game. Yeah, I'm gonna remove him again. So we're not gonna play games, but yeah, the Washington Commanders at 5-2, looking really really good. Marcus Mariota was in there today, huh? Marcus Mariota, 205 and 2 TDs. Behind Robinson, another solid game. That's they look pretty good. McLaurin had an okay game, didn't get a touchdown. But they really came up, and they're 5-2 right now. They're pretty impressive right now. The Washington Commanders are pretty impressive at 5-2. They looked really really good today. Although it's the Carolina Panthers, so I can't really judge them off of that. I guess the Commanders are looking pretty strong. They're standing in there strong. Um, we'll see what happens with them. I mean, obviously, in that inside of that division, and I'll lead to it now. The Philadelphia Eagles coming up with a 28-3 victory over the Giants. Like I said before, I think DeBoer has lost the team completely. I think Brian DeBoer has lost the Giants for good. He might honestly be on his way out. I don't know if they'll do it this right now, but right now the Giants sit at what, 2-5, right? Yeah, 2-5. I mean, they're pretty much out of the division. There's no chance for the Giants to recuperate. Daniel Jones was eliminated, was taken out of the game. Um, he just played poorly today. I mean, Daniel Jones, 99 yards passing. He just doesn't. He's not a good quarterback. I think that people need to realize he's not a good quarterback. Now the Eagles winning, they're 4-2. I mean, you could say, hey, whether they're playing better, or you could say they played two very, very dysfunctional franchises, and that's what it is. I mean, even that, Jalen Hurts only threw for 114 yards today, so I don't understand what the big excitement of the Eagles winning would have been, except for Barkley getting 176 yards. AJ Brown got a TD, but really it was against a mediocre team in the Giants that aren't even trying right now. Um, but nonetheless, Eagles 4-2, Commanders 5-2. So that division's kind of like in between both. Um, obviously AJ Brown did it. I'm still not sold on AJ Brown, by the way. I still think he's fraudulent. I'm waiting for the. I'm going to see what happens the whole season with that guy because I don't. I remember not. I'm not going to be sold on him. A lot of people tell me to be sold on him, and I can't be sold on a guy that didn't show up in a playoff game. The Lions did win. Yes, they did, and that's another one I was going to say. The Lions beat the Vikings, so now the Vikings are 5-1. The Lions are actually 5-1 too, right? Yeah, the Lions are right there. Um, which leads me to believe Jared Goff, 280 and two touchdowns. Jamar Gibbs, two touchdowns, 116 yards on 15 carries. Pretty good numbers. Um, yeah, the Detroit Lions, they look very solid right now. They look like a team that could possibly be a Super Bowl contender, but I don't really want to go that far just yet. Um, but they look pretty solid. I mean, they lost the defensive end, which I thought was a little off, but they did. They took the Vikings out in a very close game, and the Minnesota Vikings are still 5-1. But like I said, if you're gonna really say a team that really wants to win, it's gonna have to be the Lions right now in the NFC. I think at 5-1, they kind of are taking control of that division. Um, Minnesota Vikings honestly didn't really have that bad of a day. Sam Darnold, 22 for 27, 259, one TD, one interception. He's not a good quarterback, guys. I mean, he has a good team. He's got Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson is going to make you look good. And Aaron Jones as a running back is pretty solid pickup, too. So maybe they hang in the hunt for a while. But honestly, at the end of the day, I don't think they're really going to be any threat to the NFC. Um, so let's do a recap here. We'll go to the Texans and the Packers. Now, I've said that I said I'm all in on the Texans right now as far as being a good team. Green Bay did beat them today, 24-22. Um, that is very, 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 very off. That's mm, really, really off. Like these stats here are crazy for the Texans. C.J. Stroud only threw for 86 yards today, yet they only lost by 2 points. That's kind of crazy. He only threw for 86 yards. Joe Mixon is playing lights out for a running back. Quietly, Joe Mixon could be one of the best running backs in the game right now. I mean, 25 carries, 115 yards, 2 TDs. He basically kept him in the game. That's 14 points right there. Dalton Schultz, 1 catch, 28 yards. Basically, Joe Mixon kept the Texans in the game today. Um, but Jordan Love, I mean, Jordan Love, 220 yards. He threw a couple picks, though, but he had 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. Romeo Dobbs, 8 catches, 94 yards. It just seemed like an up and down game. Trump 2024. That's the best thing you could say today. So yeah, Green Bay Packers at 5-2. Now the Texans at 5-2. Green Bay seems to be staying right in the thick of things. Jordan Love, give credit where credit's due. The Packers are hanging in there at 5-2. Now it's the teams are stacked in there. Yeah, I don't know what that means. But the Packers solid win today against a pretty good Houston Texans team. Stephon Diggs, I guess, was nowhere to be found. What a shocker! Bills were good for getting rid of him. Um, Where do we go? These are all the early games. Like I said, the Commanders ran through it. Titans and the Bills. Let's run this one in. 34-10, Buffalo Bills. 5-2, looking good. Um, Josh Allen, solid game. I mean, you're playing the Titans too. They're not a very good team. Ray Davis didn't do much. He did get a touchdown. Keon Coleman got 4 catches, 125 yards. Um, Tony Pollard is the most overrated running back of all time. The Dallas Cowboys merely made him to be a good running back, and he's not a good running back. 16 carries for 61 yards is not really high numbers. But Josh Allen playing really good today. 21 for 33, 323 yards, 2 touchdowns. They're pretty solid. They're 5-2. The Buffalo Bills, honestly, and depending on what happens with this Jets Steelers game tonight, which you know, I'm going to breathe for the Steelers because I don't like the drama Jets. I want them to just be eliminated from playoff contention so I can move on and keep saying Aaron Rodgers is overrated, and he is. He got his coach fired. He got his coach fired. I just can't see past that. So, yeah, the Buffalo Bills are 5-2, pretty staple in the AFC East right now. Patriots are they're out. Um, and the Dolphins, I think the Dolphins might have won today. Let me see. I think the Dolphins did. No, they lost. Like I said before, Mike McDaniel's not a good coach. There you go. The Dolphins, 2-4 now. Indianapolis Colts 4-3. Indianapolis Colts 4-3. Kind of surprising. I mean, for them to have a winning record right now, it's kind of crazy. Anthony Richardson is their running back and their quarterback apparently. Tyler Huntley, 87 yards and 1 TD. I don't even understand how a coach can sit there and have a quarterback pass for only 87 yards the entire game. The entire game. And not think about getting a quarterback change. I mean, is Tyler Huntley that good enough to keep in the entire game, knowing the circumstances if the Dolphins stay in the race? I just don't even understand that. I'm really not understanding that. Again, bad coaching by a bad coach in Mike McDaniel, who's a horrible coach in my opinion. I just can't see that 2-4. Even if you get back to it, you're not going anywhere with it. And finally, now the Chiefs pulled off. They're now 6-0. They beat San Francisco, who's really under the gun anyway. Ugh. And look at this. The terror of both games. Pat Mahomes, 154 yards and 2 picks. He did nothing. He did nothing today. Kareem Hunt, 2 touchdowns rushing. That's that 2 TDs. Kareem Hunt getting the 2 touchdowns is the reason the Chiefs pulled it off today. Brock Purdy, 212 yards. Oh, I know he is. That's what I'm saying. Brock Purdy, 212 yards, 3 interceptions. Pretty horrible. That's horrible. People, I don't want anybody to ever come to me again and say Brock Purdy's an elite quarterback or could even be an elite quarterback. He had 3 interceptions and 212 yards. He's coming down to earth as being a below average quarterback. A Brock Purdy pass to Ricky Purcell. Terrible. George Kittle, 92 yards. Pretty much the fact that the 49ers won't go out and get a quarterback is the reason that they will probably not even make the playoffs this year. I'd be very shocked if San Francisco gets in to the playoffs even this year after being to the Super Bowl last year. I just don't think they're good. As for the Chiefs, they're winning, but it doesn't really solidify itself right now. Honestly, it's the team and the hat I'm wearing that looks like they're the team that seems to find ways to win. The Houston Texans are still there, but I mean that stat line with C.J. Stroud, man, that's pretty tough. The numbers inside the game are telling me that right now the Buffalo Bills really have a good chance to be a pretty good team at 5-2. And now they're equal with the Texans, even though I think the Texans beat the Bills, but. Yeah, Debo Samuel is underutilized, and he doesn't have a quarterback to throw to him, so that's another reason they lost. But Kareem Hunt getting just 2 rushing touchdowns, and that's the reason the Kansas City Chiefs win. That seems a little bit over the top there. So yeah, basically, and I'm not willing to put the Kansas City Chiefs in the top end. I'm just not ready to do it. I don't. This is the most fraudulent 6-0 team by far I've seen in a while. And where's our boy Kelsey at? I thought Kelsey was actually supposed to be the staple of the Kansas City Chiefs. I see nothing on the stat line with Travis Kelsey. Since he's been with Taylor Swift, his numbers have diminished. I keep saying this, but nobody looks into the numbers in these games. They just look at the stat line. I mean, you can really break it down crazy. Also, one more game that I actually forgot that I just seen up here too. Also, the Bengals and the Browns, who is the next Philadelphia Eagles opponent, which would be the Cincinnati Bengals. They're going to try way harder than the New York Giants. At least the Bengals are 3-4 and kind of staying in the race, even though they barely squeaked that win out. Also, I'd like to say I really, really do feel bad about Deshaun Watson tearing his Achilles today. He just hasn't been the guy for the Browns. I don't think that's the only reason that's like that. I just don't think that there's yeah, it's a shame. Trump 2024, bud. Yeah, I don't know who this dude is. He's an idiot. Let's remove the Democrat here. Let's remove him. Yeah, I don't really want idiocy. I don't really want to see stupid stuff that makes no sense to me. But yeah, so the Cincinnati Bengals at 3-4, looking pretty solid for a win today against a really bad team. Nyoku got a touchdown pass late, but the Bengals fell short. And that's pretty much the rundown. I mean, there's not really like, as far as I look at it right now, there's a lot of football to be played still, but in all honesty, are there? I always wanted to come to Colorado. That is one of my bucket lists of places to go. And it's not just because of the Mary Joanna. It's just because I think that it would be educational to go out into the Alpine Mountains and the altitude and stuff. And, yeah, okay, we're going to... Yeah. Messi or Ronaldo. Poof. Probably Christian Ronaldo, actually, to answer that. But yeah, so, and then I guess there's only really two games left for the whole schedule. The Jets tonight, the overrated Jets against the Steelers, who have Russell Wilson in there. So obviously, I think you got to take the Jets with the points because I'm not sure what Russell Wilson's doing if he only even make it till halftime. All right, there's some. I love the fact that like you got all these clowns. All right, you get a lot of clowns here, man. There's a lot of clowns, man. I have a snow-capped Mount Blackett out of my front door. Yeah, that seems a little. Honestly, Colorado's probably would be a really good place to go. All right, all right. That's enough of him. That's enough of him. All right, that's enough of him. They got a lot of immature people on here. I guess people like this guy. He likes to troll people just for fun. You think it's funny, don't you? You don't really affect me. I just look at people that are like that, and they're 15 behind the computer board. I gotta remove a lot of comments here because we got a lot of haters, man. People never want to see people do good, man. It's crazy. So anyway, with all the 15-year-olds that are on there that want to talk, 5,000 for 5 acres, it's not bad, That's not bad. So like really, right now, it looks like the Buffalo Bills seem to be the team to be right there at 5-2. Although it's tough to say. Every team seems to be playing at an equal playing length. Even though the Chiefs are 6-0, realistically they're not ahead of the game. They're not. Like if I stacked the NFL teams right now from top to bottom, I'm not going to put the Chiefs number one right now, even at 6-0. And it's not even just to be disrespectful. It's just they're not even playing at a high level. They're just beating teams by chance. You know. And I guess you're grinding it out in the back. All right. I don't know what you're talking about. Like you people stop acting like clowns, man. All right, we got to get rid of him, man. All right, we got to get rid of him. He's having fun trying to troll me, and it's not going to work. You can say what you want, but you're just not doing anything. So, all right, instead of all the haters that are out there that are 15 years old, that mommy and daddy probably had to buy a computer, um, I guess that's just a shame. It just proves the immaturity level of people on the internet. I didn't have the internet when I was when I was a teenager. The internet didn't exist like this. It was just coming into a play probably in like 96, 95. But it was never like this where you can actually get on platforms and go through it. Um, that's really where we're at with it, though. But so anyway, the Buffalo Bills will seemingly, in my opinion, even at 5-2, the Buffalo Bills seem to be the best team in the AFC right now. Kansas City Chiefs is 6-0 to me seem fraudulent. They seem very fraudulent, and I'll continue to say that. Even with all the wins, I mean, you didn't, he had 154 yards and two picks. He didn't even throw a touchdown pass. It's bad. This has just been a very off year for the NFL. I guess it's a good thing for NFL defenses. I don't know what you're just late means. What is that? What does that mean, JB? Will the Mets beat the Dodgers? No. That's funny because the internet wasn't had no time in '91. But if you want to say that, you can do what you want. You got to get rid of some of these people, man. They just like continue to clown, clown, clown. People like to troll. They just like to talk, man. Just like to troll, man. People love trolling. They think that trolling's a funny thing. I think it's ridiculous. Um, but like I said with the NFL right now, the breakdown's simple. I mean, Josh Allen's playing at a high level most games. There was a game or two he didn't have a great game, but I'd honestly put my numbers on Josh Allen right now to be really in the mix, you know? Um, nah, you're trolling pretty bad, bro. You're actually trolling really, really bad. Yeah, salute to being a clown. I know. You get a kick out of it. You don't have to follow this page. You know that, right? You could go somewhere else and I could care less what you do. You're not going to change my day. I mean, you're trolling. So anyway, yeah, as far as that goes, Peter Crippen. But anyway, so yeah, so that's what it looks like. As of right now, I think the Bills seem to be solid. The Chiefs, obviously, at 6-0, you're going to have to put them in there, even though I don't think they deserve it. And then, obviously, in the NFC, it's the Detroit Lions. You might be able to keep the Eagles in the mix, I guess, but not really. And then you got Green Bay, and you got maybe Chicago. Tommy Vercetti. I'm new here. Tommy Vercetti. What, you were on Grand Theft Auto. All right, that's enough of you, man. Oh my God, these people are ridiculous. Just get rid of them. That's enough of him. All right, that's enough of him. No, you didn't do anything. It's just other people that want to be trolls on here and just want to keep getting on here and talking nonsense to make themselves feel. But yeah. So that's basically where we're at. So it's the Buffalo Bills, the Chiefs, the Lions, and you know, I would say Green Bay's in there. Green Bay snuck in there. And then after that, I don't really know. I mean, you can't really tell. It's going to be a very interesting NFC because the NFC stacked differently, especially with a lot of teams that are just kind of up and down. Like Atlanta Falcons losing to Seattle at home, like the way they did today, they put themselves out of the mix. I thought they could have been in there, but they proved that Kirk Cousins is overrated again. And we'll see. Like I said, we still got time. Jets Steelers tonight. Russell Wilson's tough to watch playing quarterback. He just is. I don't know what's going to really happen with him. The Commanders, oh yeah, the Commanders, yeah. They just got to stick with a quarterback. I don't know really what they're going to do there. I mean, is Jaden Daniels hurt? Like, there's a lot of questions there. What it is? I mean, they only need really Bijan Robinson to really play good. Eh, I know. I do remember it. Is that you? You're Tommy Vercetti? You and Lance Vance are driving around Vice City on motorbikes. Is that how it works? But yeah, anyway. So again, and the most disappointing teams in the NFL, the Raiders, who also fell today again to the Rams. Again, another bad loss for the Las Vegas Raiders. They continue to just not have anything. I don't even know how you can have Gardner Minshew and Aiden McConnell be the only two quarterbacks in your roster right now. I mean, that's part of the problem, but I just don't think they have an offense. Devontae Adams, drama queen. Devontae Adams cost them a lot too. It's just a rebuilding year for the Raiders, so they may not even win a game the rest of the year. I probably honestly would say at this point, don't win the game. and try to get a draft pick because you're not going to be able to do anything with capital right now because Devontae Adams got you pretty bad. And him and the drama Rodgers tonight. I hope the Steelers beat them, and I hope they drop to 2-6 so I can just watch Rodgers make more excuses why he can't win. He's got solid receivers and he can't win. We'll see what happens tonight. We'll see what happens tonight with the Jets. But anyway, that's probably all I have right now. Eagles had a solid win today. Commanders won solidly, even though Mariota was in there. Oof. A lot of questions. I mean, it's a wide open NFC. It's a wide open AFC, really, too. All the Chiefs need to do is just lose one game that they weren't supposed to lose, and they will lose eventually. They can't have the refs bail them out of every single game. They do need an offensive line. I agree with that. Bang, bang, boogie. The Jets do need an offensive line. But even with that said, Aaron Rodgers is supposed to be the man. He's supposed to be winning these games for him, and he hasn't. He put Rob Saleh in a bad spot too, calling him out for not making people take accountability. But what has Mike McDaniel for the Dolphins done? They lost again today. That's 2-5. Now what? You're going to try to bring concussion-prone Tua back to save the day? Where is Tyreek Hill at? There's a lot of guys getting paid a lot of money, and there's no answers like Tyreek Hill. Right now, he's very overrated, and they're going to say, "Well, Huntley's out there playing." Well, why has Huntley only got 97 yards the whole game? You're telling me you would have stuck with him? Why would you stick with him though? Why would you stick with a guy that had 97 yards passing? You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't even understand that whole logic. Like, even the Browns, now Stefanski with saying, "Yeah, Deshaun's makes our best chances to win by going out there and doing it." But meanwhile, they took it on the chin. And it just they look bad. I mean, look realistically on the whole thing. I can even break down. The I'll put all the numbers together. The full box score of every single thing in here. They had the Browns. Let's see the Browns' total offense. They had 3 quarterbacks play today. And they combined for 259 yards. Jameis Winston came in and gave him a touchdown. Why was Jameis Winston not in before Dorian Thompson-Robinson? That doesn't even make any sense. Nick Chubb had 11 carries, 22 yards, and a touchdown. He did have a touchdown. Cleveland receiving 277 total yards. Cleveland rushed to 77. So they had 300 yards of total offense and only got 14 points out of it. There's no consistency to the roster. I don't even know who Dorian Robinson is. So the Browns pretty much are done. Deshaun Watson, unfortunately, I feel bad that happened to him. You don't even as crazy as badly as he was playing. I don't ever wish a person to get hurt. Hopefully he has a speedy recovery and at least gets back to like the field at least. But unfortunately, that's tough. Oh, I look. There's a YouTube fight on here. That's good. At least I got the trolls off here. I just can't be dealing with the trolls on here. They're getting ridiculous. Yeah, I mean that's what really breaks down. So my breakdown is that we got still got a long season. I mean, what is this week? This is week what? Wait, week 7. So you still have 10 more games to see what happens. There's a lot that can happen in 10 games. Right now, the Detroit Lions look really solid. I really think the Lions, I mean, I didn't really think it, but, I still haven't really been sold on Jared Goff, and I don't know if I can be totally sold on the guy, but let's be realistic here. The Lions have a very solid core of guys. Jared Goff, 280. Jamar Gibbs, Amon St. Brown, one of the most solid receivers that people don't talk about in the game. Detroit Lions looked pretty solid, and they won. And now they're 6-5-1, and we'll see what happens. I mean, there's still a lot of football to be played. So we're gonna really look at the whole stat line here. Atlanta Falcons were the most disappointing loss today. The Raiders, I kind of expected it, but the Atlanta Falcons, the fact that Kirk Cousins just can't get it done is crazy. I don't know what this Tommy Vercetti thing is. Um, so yeah, there's a lot of crazy things. The Bulls QB switch doesn't sit well with Jones ESPN. I mean, what was he supposed to do? They had 3 points on the board the whole game. Daniel Jones is terrible. You got to sit him down. There's no other reason behind that. The Giants don't like to win in New York either. That's a whole other thing. Um, Dodgers go back to open game six. Freeman not starting. Oregon number 1 in the polls. I'm not so sure what that's all about, but like, yeah, that's really where we're at. So, vet things feedback. I think the Detroit Lions are probably the most solid team in the NFC right now. Um, and I think in the AFC it's the Bills. Could it be a Bills Lions Super Bowl? I don't know if that'll happen, but I would like to see something different that would two franchises that have never really gotten too far to meet each other would be nice instead of seeing the Kansas City Swifts in there. Uh, you know, we'll see. But I think I'm going to get off. I think it's just going to be something different. I think we're going to see a lot of crazier stuff going on. Even the Rams, like the Rams, really had nothing to play for today, and they won only their second game this year. Matt Stafford, 154 and a pick. These are all guys making $50 million, by the way, and they're only passing for 200 yards. I'm not. I'm not. I said this today, and I'll say it again. I'll say it every day, maybe for the rest of my life. That paying the quarterback $50+ million is not beneficial. Why the NFL started doing it, I can't figure that out. But I would say this: it's kind of ridiculous that it's gotten to that point. Um, so we'll see. I mean, the NFL's got a lot of things going on. But anyway, I'm gonna get off here. I did my cap up tonight. I'm probably gonna start like to do the Monday night football game. Maybe I'll do a little something tomorrow night. We'll see what time I get in tomorrow night, and we'll go from there and see where we're at. So anyway, I'm gonna get off here. X-Man out for now.